Every role has its strengths in League of Legends, and as different people, we gravitate towards different strengths. Maybe you want to go for that big Yasuo knockup or for those crazy 1v5 engagements on Vayne. But we know most of you really want to emulate Mad Life on his insane hooks.
Wansuck again getting caught a bit. How does he hit every single one?
Before you get to that point though, you have to learn support in the first place. That's why we got you covered on 10 awesome tips that every support must know to climb in solo queue and improve their game. Also, if you're looking for a place to learn from fellow support mains, or simply share your crazy hook predictions, why not join the ProGuides League of Legends Discord? We'll be sharing all our YouTube uploads so you can stay up to date. But before we get started, our question of the day is, what is the first support champion you ever played? For me, I played Alistar because I got that free Unchained Alistar skin from Riot Games when that was available. Let me know your answers in comments below, and I hope to see some wild picks. And lastly, before we get started, make sure to check out ProGuides.com. There, we have courses from your favorite pro players like Doublelift and many challenger-level coaches who can take your gameplay to the next level. We also have daily live classes from top-tier instructors like Zyrene and Mike Young. Don't miss out on these great opportunities to improve and join the community. With that being said, let's jump straight into the video. As support, every time you are about to leave the base due to a death or a simple reset, you always want to see if there's an opportunity to roam no matter what support you're playing. Here is what you need to look at before determining whether you should roam, and if so, how long you have before you need to get bot lane. Let's start off with the situation where you should not roam, but instead get to bot lane ASAP. If bot lane is stacking up towards the enemy and your ADC will get into a confrontation with the enemy to push out the final wave, you need to immediately head to bot lane to help him push out the wave. After pushing the wave into the tower, you may now establish wards in the river and potentially roam to mid if your ADC decides to reset. If the wave is even bot, you can roam as long as you don't see both the enemy ADC and support bot. If they are bot, quickly establish one ward in the river and get bot lane. Your roams in this case will involve establishing basic vision with a potential gank if something presents itself mid. If nothing seems good mid, you can simply walk back bot. Just make sure to spam ping your ADC to avoid walking up to the wave and dying 1v2. Secondly, the most important thing you need to do is make sure that you get back to bot before the enemy shoves in the wave and potentially dives your ADC. The last situation involves the wave pushing into your team. This is where you really need to calculate exactly how much time you have before you must get to bot before the minion wave crashes into the tower. You can roam here, but it's for light vision. You don't want to stay on the map too long since your goal is mainly to get to the bottom lane to help your ADC catch the wave. The concept both supports should be trying to uphold when they get to bot lane after leashing should be controlling bush number 2. There are 3 bushes bot lane. You can number them 1, 2, and 3 relative to the side that you're playing in that game. But bush number 2 will always be the same no matter what side you're on. The concept here is instantly moving into this bush and forcing the enemy to ward it, or they can get zoned if they choose not to ward. From there, the enemy has no clue exactly where you are in the bush, making them think twice if they want to do anything in lane. This will also relieve a lot of pressure off your ADC to be able to start pushing the wave. From here, it comes down to the matchup of the support to see who can actually control the bush. Ranged supports beat melee supports once they ward bush number 3. Ranged supports go even with other ranged supports, but will ultimately depend who outplays each other. As a melee support, you will likely get pushed back and sacrifice pressure, allowing the enemy to push you in. ADC matchup may play a small role in whether the support can control bush number 2, so keep that in mind before trying to establish dominance as the better support. But from here, if you are the one building up a slow push, you can look to move into bush 3 and zone the enemy completely by making them miss potential CS. This goes for both bot laners. They need to understand the other person's counter matchup and how it will impact how they can play the game for the first 3 waves. But bringing it back to the support's perspective, you should at least have an idea of the ADC's range and whether they can outtrade the enemy ADC or not. This could heavily influence how much you're able to output in terms of pressure for the early levels. Make sure you don't limit tests too far, but also make sure you aren't giving up pressure where you could be getting it. We're going to demonstrate the 4 general warding strategies, whether you're playing for Dragon or Baron. We're going to show this from blue side perspective. For red side, just flip it to get the same effect. But the idea is to ward entrances after your team has pushed mid and the adjacent lane of the objective you're playing for. From here, you move in as a team once the enemy is clearing the waves and establish vision. For Dragon, Baron? Just keep in mind, there are more advanced strategies for deeper ward placement and protecting vision, but we just wanted to give the basic rundown to get you started on the concept of establishing proper vision around the correct objective. There are a couple of support items for enchanters, and they could confuse you on which one may be best in each game. We will simply name each support item and when you should build them first to get the most out of them. We will assume you've purchased your normal support item with boots on top. Ardent Sensor. If you have an ADC or team who can make heavy use out of the attack speed early on, such as Caitlyn, Vayne, or Jinx. Athenes. If attack speed isn't what you need, but you notice that you can get poke off on the enemy without being in much danger, you can buy Athenes since it gives AP and benefits when you can poke the enemy team and give one of your teammates a massive heal. Redemption. If attack speed or attempting to get free pick is not in the framework, even if they have insane poke and you have the inability to fight back, simply purchase Redemption first. Mikhail's Crucible. We're going to give an honorable shout out to Mikhail's if for whatever reason you feel the enemy team has a wild amount of crowd control. From there, after you purchase your first item, you can start purchasing the other items if you feel they will serve more purpose as the game has progressed a little bit. Tanky style champions have a lot more options when it comes to building because some of their items are shared with top lane. Looking at you, Stoneplate. We are following the same style from the Enchanter portion of the video. We'll show you when you may want to purchase a certain item first. We will assume you have already purchased your support item and boots. Knight's Vow. If you feel you need to lower the damage your ADC is taking, or you're against somebody who wants to assassinate your ADC. Zeke's Convergence. If your team needs more damage, or you are a champion that wants to get in the middle of the enemy team composition. Stoneplate. If your job is to stay alive as long as possible. Righteous Glory. If for whatever reason you need the extra tool to engage. Secondary or third items include Locket, helpful to block some damage, more useful once you are a higher level for a bigger shield. Redemption, useful for healing. After building your first item, feel free to transition to any other item you see fit for the game. When you're establishing vision with your teammates, you want to use Sweeper first to spot out as many wards as possible in the area you want to control. After the Sweeper has ran out and you have not fully swept everything or decide to go deeper, you place your first pink ward to clear a ward that your team cannot sweep. After that, your second pink ward is used to control the specific area if you decide to move it away from the first position. Let's bring it all the way back to the roots. A support's job in League of Legends is to control bot lane as effectively as possible for the ADC to gather as many resources as they can so there can be a smooth transition to mid-game. During mid-game, the support's job is to establish a push and control vision on the objective that is being played for to create the most favorable situation for their team. During teamfights, depending on the champion selected, your primary goal is to engage or look to simply peel for whoever is the strongest carry on your team. This could be seen as more of an ADC's job, but a support can set up the way in a position to hold the wave or even freeze it. From there, it's important that the ADC does not hard shove the wave to maintain the hold into a minion buildup or a freeze. A very common scenario is you just came back to lane while your ADC is lagging behind. The enemy team just finished pushing the wave, but is too low to contest you if you attempt to freeze the wave. Instead of letting the wave crash into your tower, you can look to purposely tank the minions with the bush and wait until the next minion wave comes to hold the minions in the sweet spot. This will make the enemy team lose the whole next wave if they do not try to immediately break the freeze. However, if the enemy team does have the resources to stop you from freezing, you can still attempt to do it, but immediately retreat to your tower if you're going to die. You still slightly win out because you slow down how fast the enemy bot lane resets before they can get back on the map. This one is going to be hard to identify in doing game, and even if you successfully do it, you may get berated by pings for not helping out. Sometimes at the end of the day, one of your teammates cannot be saved no matter how hard you try. You will simply just have to escape with your life to minimize how much you're giving up to the enemy team. And that concludes our tips on how to carry in the support role. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to join our Discord below, where we do tons of coaching giveaways and community events. Lastly, don't forget to visit our website at ProGuides.com, where you can receive coaching from pro players, watch live classes, and improve with courses from pro players. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and good luck out on the Rift.